It is no secret that men have become the cultural scapegoats of the Western world. When you're born, they cut the tip off, and then when you reach adulthood, they go for the shaft! If you're sick and tired of this Marxist bullshit, pick up a copy of The Rules: Reclaiming Your Freedom, Your Manhood, and Your Sanity. This is the book you need to start winning. Download a free PDF or buy the printed version right now. Links are in the description.
What's going on, you two-handed CHAZ debaters? Terrence Popp here, Redonkulas.com. Bad Pop showed up today. You know what that means. I don't think I have to explain it. From coast to coast, this nation just might become toast, if you know what I mean. You know what they say, the only thing you need for evil to succeed is for good men to do nothing. Well, I can't just sit back and do nothing. So today, we're gonna pour and drink a strong menagerie and talk about all of these leftist utopias that are popping up all over the country. You know, these autonomous zones. Fuck, I can't even say that word, so let's just drink. Yeah. Ever since the untimely death of an unnamed violent felon, leftists all over this nation have lost their goddamn minds. Oh, you don't believe me? Let's just start off with a list of their demands, and we're gonna start on the East Coast because that's where the sun rises.
No, Pop, we want to go right to talking about the CHAZ.
Wah! Well, the people in hell want ice water, and they're not getting that anytime soon.
Demand number one, you need to defund the police.
Well, looks like that has already happened, Space Ghost. According to one of your trusted news sources, in big cities like St. Louis, the average cop only makes $23,000 a year. You take your ass to the suburbs and the cops make about 3 times that. My question is this: why would any sane person risk their life for $10.25 an hour? Why would I risk being permanently maimed and never seeing my family again for a bunch of ass bags who hate my ever-loving guts because I have a badge? And you actually have the balls to say $10.25 an hour is too much.
But $15 an hour for a pimply-faced spoon-fed soy boy whose only marketable skill is asking if you want fries with that.
Totally fine, Space Ghost.
Demand number two, no new jails.
Now this is kind of like your mama. I can get behind this one. We are imprisoning people for life for victimless crimes. Most of them are non-violent and usually drug-related.
Demand number three, decriminalize sex work.
Amen! Cheers. As long as you pay taxes on that ass. If you're going to insist that sex work is real work, let's be honest, it's not. Then you need to pay real taxes with real money. And buy real antibiotics for your real STDs. Screen 5.
Demand number four, police-free schools.
What's gonna happen then? More school shootings. Hell, you could bet on that. Or, more likely, these school districts will have to hire private security and pass that expense on to you. But it's not like the people who wrote this list give a fuck because, let's face it, they don't pay any taxes.
Take your privilege somewhere else, please.
Demand number five, drop all charges against the protesters.
Oh, gee, let me think about that for a moment. Dozens of innocent people dead, most of them black, millions of dollars in property damage, sedition, treason. All this victimhood is making me hungry. You ever tried this one little spot called Eat Shit and Die?
Demand number six, end cash bail.
These idiots think that bail criminalizes poverty. No, it doesn't. Wah. Bail is just insurance that your ass will show up for your court date. And if you don't, men with tasers and possibly guns are gonna hunt your ass down and fine you. Don't get me wrong. Most of these fines that these courts impose are simply a shakedown and complete bullshit. But you play stupid games, you will win stupid prizes.
Demand number 7. Ban stop and frisk.
I'm totally cool with that because it has happened to me.
Wait a minute, are you trying to tell me that police impose the same laws on everyone? Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria!
It's a violation of your Fourth Amendment right to privacy. Remember this part because it will be on the test.
In the midst of a culture war that's bringing out the ridiculous in everyone, it's never been more important to protect your data. Sandman, the patron saint of MGTOW dreams, wants you to know the best way to do that is with the Brave browser. It's free, blocks online advertising, and protects your data from the evil prigs in Silicon Valley. You only see ads if you want to, and you get cryptocurrency for your attention. Download Brave by clicking on the link in the description.
Now, we're going over to the West Coast, or I'll just call it the Left Coast.
Abolish the police! Completely!
You want to know what happens to a society with no police? Okay! Every productive individual of that society is going out to aircraft with just the reserves. They are out. Without these people paying taxes into your programs and infrastructure, it all collapses. But before it collapses, they're going to raise taxes to compensate for the loss. And of course, that'll drive away everyone else that was too stupid to cut sling load the first time. All the while, the Democrats that they voted for, they're skimming right off the top. What I'm trying to tell you here, you're gonna get Detroit. Space Ghost. Up until 1967, Detroit used to be the Paris of the West. It fell victim to race riots and corrupt Democrats who told you who was responsible for it when. Does any of that sound familiar?
We demand a retrial for all people of color in prison for violent crimes by a jury of their peers in their community.
I'm gonna be honest. That already happened. That's why those fuckers are in prison, Space Ghost.
We demand the abolition of imprisonment, generally speaking.
Doesn't that make your last demand utterly pointless?
We demand that money used for Seattle Police Department be reallocated to socialized healthcare, free public housing, building more schools and hiring more teachers for public education, broad spectrum naturalization for all undocumented immigrants because no person is illegal.
Oh, that's right. Defunding the police department that's already paying poverty wages is going to fund all of that. Right. I can't say I'm surprised. If you actually knew how economics worked, you wouldn't be a socialist, Screen 5.
Restore city funding for arts to re-establish the once rich cultural identity of Seattle.
Which was bought and paid for by the middle class. Cheers. You're welcome.
We demand the degentrification of Seattle.
So basically, you want to renovate Seattle into a Section 8 shithole without any police, law, or order.
We want black doctors and nurses specifically for black patients.
Black doctor.
Pay attention here, ladies and germs, because this is how you hypocrite.
We want you to go out and support black-owned businesses.
Because that is exactly what's on everyone's mind when they go out to buy shit. I go into a store thinking,
Hell, I hope the individual selling this vodka is black. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to drive my ass all the way across town.
I got a test for you. Take a look at this store and tell me the race of the owner. I'll wait. How about this one? Oh shit, bad example, Space Ghost.
In case you haven't noticed, there's a culture war going on, and the spoils are the very minds of people we are trying to save. The war on the West is no longer about men or women. It's about the ideological subversion of Western minds by foreign actors cloaked in a public relations friendly outfit called feminism. Join the fight against the destabilization of our very civilization by reading Surviving Fourth Wave Feminism. Learn some inconvenient truths by clicking on the link in the description, because every time you do, a pansexual non-binary socialist cries.
Now I know what you're wondering through your alcohol-idle brain. Let's drink.
Gee, Pop, what would a society based on these principles look like?
Well, supposedly it'll look like the CHAZ, which stands for Capitol Hill
Autonomous
Zone. I still can't say that word. These people want to abolish the police. They think Trump is a fascist for wanting to defend and establish strong borders. They think the United States is institutionally racist, right? Wah. But what are the first things these idiots did when they set up this social experiment? They built walls to establish a border. And they stationed armed guards who stop and frisk anyone going in and out. You probably need to talk to your buddies in DC about that. And it places white people on the bottom rung of society as extortion cows, simply to be milked for money.
By the time you leave this autonomous zone, I want you to give $10 to one African American person.
The Seattle police, the real Seattle police, they're stating that 911 calls that come from within the CHOP are basically not being answered.
Arguably scarier than that, the lamestream news printing Antifa talking points, and even Seattle's own mayor calling this the summer of love. You heard it here, feminists. Snuggle struggle sessions have now been officially sanctioned by your own political party as the summer of love.
How dare you!
Well, the good news is that if one of these snuggle struggles results in an unplanned pregnancy, we all know who to call.
Black Doctor.
When you want the world to believe that this is a utopia, the last thing you want is the world to see video evidence of your personal truth. Because reality seems to paint a very different picture here.
And in this picture, you are racist, sexist, violent, fascist, and dare I say it, treasonous cowards.
No wonder the Democrats love you, Screen 5. You have proven to the world that you are everything you claim to hate. In fact, you are worse.